It's the Evening Bulletin. I'm Perry Michael Simon. Once upon a time, you could count on some things being common knowledge. I'm not talking about the obvious things like what the capital of America is or who's the president. I'm talking about things in pop culture. Of course, pop culture is constantly changing, but some things seem to be evergreen. There would always be a Beatles, and there'd always be Bugs Bunny, and there'd always be Bob Hope. But the Beatles don't mean anything to people under the age of about 30 anymore, and I was listening to another podcast, Cartoon Network's Drawn, and they mentioned how kids today are growing up not knowing Bugs Bunny because he's not on TV every afternoon anymore. Bob Hope stopped being relevant and started to fade into history even before he passed on. You don't see Bob Hope movies on TV anymore. You don't see his old TV shows even on, like, MeTV or Antenna TV, and you'd have to be older to remember when he was a big star. So, we come to Jeopardy last week, and a question that wasn't even a big money one. It was just a $200 clue. The son of a tavern owner, Francis Albert Sinatra, was born in this New Jersey city in December 1915. And nobody got it. What is Trenton? What is Atlantic City? What is Newark? All wrong. It was once a universal bit of knowledge. Hoboken. But then again, Frank Sinatra is no longer universal knowledge himself. Even people in my age group who grew up with rock and R&B knew who Sinatra was and knew all the songs because our parents listened. But if you're under, 25 years old, your parents are us, and you don't know Sinatra unless you're really into Rat Pack Vegas culture or you're a JFK conspiracy theory fan. And there'd be no reason to know, which is what I tell myself when I'm thinking about how I'm still relatively unknown. It doesn't matter. Every generation produces a tiny handful of people who make the history books for future generations to know, even in an age when there's video and audio to keep someone's memory alive. Eventually, everyone in pop culture fades into history, even Bob Hope and the Beatles and Frank Sinatra, destined to be a trivia question to which nobody knows the answer. And that makes me strangely content. After all, someday, I'll be as famous as Frank Sinatra. I just got there faster is all. Maybe you've forgotten old Blue Eyes, but don't forget to follow me on Twitter at PM Simon and at Talk Topics. Talk to you tomorrow, but until then, that's enough.